Thank you and welcome again to Political Science Learning Hub. In the last series, we look at the scientific nature of the discipline, political science. But today, in series 4, we will look at the discipline of political science. That will be our focus today. In the last class, we look at, the nature, as I said, the discipline, political science, the scientific aspect. But today we are merging the two concepts, political science as a discipline, still on the introduction to politics. Okay? All right. So our focus, as I said, will be on the discipline of political science today. Now, political science is an academic discipline. That's the number one thing that you should understand as a student or a fresher in the discipline of political science. You should understand that political science is an academic discipline. That's why it's being offered in the academic institution all over the world. Okay, so it's actually academic endeavor. Now, usually located in the faculty of these social sciences, okay, and humanities, depending on the institution. But most institutions have political science under the faculty of these social sciences. And then political science itself specializes in the systematic study and analysis of politics. Okay. Key important words: systematic study and analysis of politics. Okay. Of course, in the last series, we discussed the nexus, the connection between systematic study, methodological study to the discipline of political science. Okay, so we'll not dwell on that. If you have issue with this, just refer to the last series and then you will be helped. Okay, so let's move forward. Now, the discipline of political science have come a long way. Okay, historically, the discipline evolved or was extracted from what is known today as philosophy. Okay, the discipline or the department of philosophy. Most of the social sciences actually came out of that discipline, philosophy, economics, sociology, psychology, political science, law itself, okay, and other discipline actually came out of philosophy, okay. And so we look at the approach to the study in two ways. One, the traditional approach, and then two, the contemporary approach to the study and understanding of politics. The old approaches, okay, are under the traditional approach, the normative as we call them. Now, when we will do a class on that, we'll have a class on the approaches of political science. That's approaches to the study of political science. Okay, we'll do a special class for that. So when we get to that, the two concepts used here, traditional and contemporary, will be well espoused and explained, in detail. But understand this as we move ahead for the purpose of this class. Okay, that there are two broad approaches, okay, to the study of political science. The traditional, which is less scientific, okay, and then the contemporary, which is more scientific. The emphasis in the contemporary approach is the scientific method, okay, using the scientific method and then studying political science. Now, does political science meet the criteria necessary for a discipline? The answer is a big yes. Okay. And then what do I mean by that? So let's look at a few criteria, a few criteria that qualifies political science as a discipline. One is classical works. Okay, every discipline has its own classical works that form the foundation of that discipline. So political science also has its own. Okay. Now, for instance, we have several classical works. Okay. For instance, the work of Aristotle, the work of Aristotle, the work of Plato, the work of philosophers like Thomas Hobbes, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the works of scholars like Thomas Hobbes. Okay. Yeah. And the rest of them, Karl Marx, for instance, the Communist Manifesto. Okay, these are classical works that form the foundation of the political science discipline. Okay, now the next criteria is the founding fathers. Political science has its own founding fathers. For example, the few philosophers I have mentioned, all of them constitute founding fathers of this discipline, political science. Okay. Yeah, we used to say that our Baba in political science is Aristotle. Okay. Yeah, and that's true. He he wrote extensively, he philosophized extensively on the states, politics, the power of the state, justice, liberties, legitimacy, sovereignty, those concepts that actually define the field of political science. Okay, now the third criterion is concepts and technical vocabulary. Are there defined vocabularies, concepts that are particularistic to political science? Yes. Okay. For instance, state, legitimacy, power, sovereignty. Now, those are concepts: freedom, justice, equity, democracy. Now, these are all concepts that actually define the field of political science. Now, clearly differentiated subject matter. The way is political science focused on a particular subject matter? Yes, the state and how it's organized. Okay, that's the subject matter of political science. So we have, and no other field contests that with us. Okay, the next one is specialized subfields. Okay, yeah, the next slides we will discuss in detail the aspect of subfields. Okay. The next one is a body of generalizations and theories. Okay. Yeah. The discipline political science has its own generalizations. Okay. For instance, one of the generalizations we have is the law of oligarchy, the elite theory, the law of the iron law theory. Okay. The iron law, the iron law. Okay. So it's one. And then we have other several theories also under the discipline of political science. We have, okay, the system theory, for instance. We have the structural functionalism theory. We have the group theory. We have the elite theory. We have, conflict theory. We have feminist theory, not several other theories that actually define the field political science. And then the last one here is standardized methods of analysis. Do we have? Yes, we have a standardized and acceptable method of analysis. Um, in contemporary form, in contemporary sense, we adopt the behavioral, the scientific method. Okay, whether they are qualitative or quantitative methods, all of them are defined within the ambit of science or the scientific method. Now, let's look at the subfields of political science. What are the subfields in political science? Okay, so we have the traditional subfields, we have the micro subfields, and then we have the multidisciplinary subfields. Okay, but these demarcations don't really matter. Okay, a few examples that we have here include comparative politics, Okay, comparative politics. So some scholars, as you see them in the Department of Political Science, world over, some of them are comparativist. Okay, that's where I actually belong. So comparativist, they specialize in the study of differences and similarities of systems, institutions, regimes, and what have you. Okay. Now, this next one here is public administration. This is another subfield in political science, public administration. This one they specialize on how public institutions are actually governed and organized. The next one is international relations, another selling field in political science, international relations. Okay, so these aspect deals with politics outside the shore, of one's country in the international arena. Deal with multinational organization, how nation interact, the interest that drive nation, how they pursue their national interest beyond their shores and what have you. Then the next one is political economy. Okay, we have another fine field, political economy. Okay, this deals with how revenue resources are generated, how they are dispensed, how they are actually used. Okay, yeah, in a political system. So there's this long argument between scholars in political science that which one comes first, is it politics or economy? People like Karl Marx, okay, put economy first, okay, and some other scholar put politics first. But it's an old argument that still suffice even in our own time. Okay, so but the fact remains that they are like a coin of two opposite sides. You can't talk about economy without politics. You can't talk about politics without economy. Okay, um, any state or country that is doing well economically, you will see that the politics also will be strong. Any nation that is doing viably well politically, you also see that its economy, okay, is also viable. So there is a field actually of study. The next one is political philosophy. Okay, these are people that specialize in developing theories, discussing theories, political theory, and what have you. Okay, and that is a very fine field in political science. The next one is political sociology. This one's the blend sociology and political science together. Fine field also. And then the last one here is environmental politics. These are emerging fields, actually. Environmental politics. Okay. They specialize in environmental law, environmental sustainability, and what have you. Okay. All right. So the next slide there is a thank you slide. But again, as a way of summary or conclusion, we have in this class look at the discipline of political science. We have looked at some of it at the approaches, the two broad approaches to the study of political science, which is the traditional approach and the contemporary approach. Okay, I promise that in the subsequent class we will discuss those approaches in detail. Okay, all right. We also look at some classical works, the criteria, okay, some of the criteria that define the discipline of political science. We highlighted a few, and then finally we look at the also the subfields, the major subfields in political science where you can specialize, okay, yeah, as you come into the discipline, maybe after your first degree, you come for your master's or for postgraduate study, you have to specialize in one of those areas, okay, because the discipline itself is quite broad. And so you cannot, after your first degree, you cannot continue covering all, okay, so you trim down to a specific field. Okay, so thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. As always, please do well to comment, do well to leave your question at the question section. It will be attended to, eventually. Please like, share, and subscribe our content, our channel. Okay. See you in the next class, and bye for now.